welcome to another episode of 10 for the Chairman. This is the first one in a while because I've been over in Europe, mostly in the UK. First of all, for the lead up to CitizenCon, which went over really, really well. I think, well, it felt to me anyway that a lot of people really liked what we shown. We're busily right now working on finishing off 2.0 for you guys to play in the very near future. But this picture back here actually is something that I've promised one of our long-term backers, a gentleman called Hank, who sent me this for my birthday. But I was over in the UK shooting Squadron 42, so I didn't see it. And then when I saw him at Gamescom, he said, "Oh, have you seen my painting that I sent you?" And I said, "No, I haven't seen it yet." And then I saw him again at CitizenCon, and I was like, "No, still haven't seen it." So I came back, went over to community, saw it, and it's awesome. So thank you so much. That's a really great painting of a side, and we'll get it framed and we'll put it in the new office. So thank you very much. It's good to be back here in Los Angeles. The weather is, well, normally a little better than England, although it was kind of rainy yesterday, but it's certainly warmer than Europe is at this time of year. So as much as I like going to Frankfurt, as much as I like being in Manchester, it is kind of nice back when there is sunshine out here. And it's good to be back with the team who I haven't seen for about 5 weeks, because I was doing working on the CitizenCon stuff and then also finishing off the selects for all the Squadron 42 PCAP we shot. So sitting with the editor, picking the various takes we want to send over for motion capture and also for sort of the facial capture. So that's going to be super cool. We've sort of revealed the cast, which is great. But as we go along, we'll sort of give you some more in-depth stuff and be showing you sort of the facial and the body tech as we move along, because what we showed was very early and it's going to be so much better by the time everything's done. So I'm super excited by Squadron 42 as I am about Star Citizen 2.0, which is going to be cool. So for those of you who don't know, 10 for the Chairman is where I take 10 questions from our subscribers and answer them to the best of my ability. Our subscribers are the subset of our community that contribute money every month to allow us to do a higher degree of community content. And it's one of the things I think that sets Star Citizen apart from other crowdfunded games and just generally games in development, because we have a huge amount of interaction with everybody in the community. It's amazing to have all of you support us in building this game, and we like to share the development with you guys, so you can sort of see us building Star Citizen and building Squadron 42 as we go along. And without the subscribers contributing the money, we wouldn't have the funds to have all the additional sort of community staff and video staff and be able to do the multiple video shows every week and the many posts we do every week on our website. So we have more posts and days in a week, and I think we're up to 3 or 4 video shows a week, which is pretty crazy. But it's all really down to the subscribers, so thank you very much. It's a lot of work to do all this content, but I think sharing the journey of making the game is something that for the team is really fun. I mean, I know that when we was at CitizenCon, it was one of the first times that the UK team really got to experience being around the community and the sort of support and excitement and enthusiasm. I mean, there's 130 people in the Manchester office. It's our biggest office, and it's full of really talented people. But they hadn't really experienced it in person until CitizenCon, and I'll have to tell you that after CitizenCon for the next week, there was a massive buzz in the office, and it makes you, when making games is hard. Making a game as big and complicated as Star Citizen is several orders harder than normal, but it's worth it when there's a huge audience of people out there that can't wait for the game, are excited about it, and also excited to sort of learn how it's getting put together and be involved in the process and give their feedback and all the rest of the stuff. So we're all super excited about getting 2.0 into your hands in the very near future. We're all working on that very hard in all the offices. So we're all pretty excited to get see what happens. I mean, I already go online and see YouTube videos of people doing crazy stuff in free flight. So what people are going to be able to do in 2.0 is going to be a whole another level above that. So that's going to be awesome. So let's get to it, and I'll answer the first of the 10 questions here. So the first one comes from Mario, who asks, "What are the plans about the separate release of Squadron 42? Will you treat it like any other retail game with TV commercials, or will it be something smaller?" So for us, I think we're not standard, so we're not going to be doing the typical sort of big publisher blanket the TV commercials. I mean, first off, we've been pretty much taking all the money we raise and putting it into development as opposed to things like marketing. I mean, essentially everything that we've done in terms of marketing has been completely viral. It's been sort of PR driven and community driven, and you guys have actually been the best marketeers for us. We haven't been doing banner ads, we haven't been doing anything. And I would say for Squadron 42, especially at the beginning, especially on the PC, I don't think we see a massive benefit of doing sort of TV advertising because we're hoping that the game's going to speak for itself and there'll be great word of mouth, and we'll kind of go from there. And then if it's doing well and making us money, then maybe we would sort of do some more traditional marketing to reach some of the audience that we don't normally reach through the sort of typical sort of PR or viral channels that we've been doing. But I think we'll certainly, at the beginning anyway, Squadron 42 will be sort of much more kind of guerrilla style marketing. I mean, maybe there'll be one or two things, maybe a banner ad or two, who knows, but we're not really planning on sort of doing it the full sort of EA treatment. Because we'd much rather put the money into the game, to be honest with you. Like I said, if we sell a bazillion copies, then maybe we'll double down a bit. But up front, it will be kind of what we've been doing now, with probably some more sort of events and publicity to sort of raise the awareness. So there you go. Next question comes from Commodore Fly, who asks, if having downed shields prevents you from entering quantum travel, will a ship be able to remotely hack another ship's shields to temporarily go down or reboot as to force the ship out of a quantum leap? Or, it's not so much quantum leap, but quantum travel. Likewise, would it be possible to use something like a probe or other mass, like my ship, to interrupt the course of a ship in quantum travel to render similar results? So yes, I mean, we've talked about having sort of the ability, beyond things like EMP, but electronic warfare and hacking other ships, disabling systems or interfering with systems. And so if you manage to bring the shields down by doing something like that, yes, it would stop a ship from being able to go to quantum drive. Also, the whole point of having, the quantum drive and the quantum travel is you can't have objects sort of in your path because you're just going a straight line, you're going very fast. So if you are in the way of a ship entering quantum travel, or there is something with mass or like a probe or whatever in the way of the travel, then yes, it will pull that person out of quantum travel. And that is the whole idea. So that'll definitely be active in the PU. I'm not sure in the very first version of 2.0 we do that. I would actually have to check, so that's sort of a later stage PU thing, but that is the whole idea of the design. So there you go. The next question comes from Vacation, who asks, will you have NPCs carrying a ballistic turret? Are they aware they have a finite number of shots, and how do they pace themselves? Well, yes, we'll definitely have NPC, they'll be able to crew various stations, so turrets, engineering, communication stations, all that kind of stuff. And if they're crewing a ballistic turret, yeah, I mean, part of the idea of sophisticated AI is for them to sort of know their weapons, right? So if they're using an energy weapon, they would sort of know that they can't use it too much or else it's overheating. A ballistic one, they should, maybe make their shots count. If they got not so much ammo, then maybe they won't be as liberal with shooting as if they had lots of ammo. So that will all be part of the AI. I mean, obviously AI is an ongoing quest. We'll constantly be working on it and improving and adding. So the early AI may not be as sophisticated as the stuff that we'll have later on down the road, but all those would be factors that should and will be considered in the AI. All right, next question comes from Heroic Frog, who asks, will there be any incentives to keep your original ship's hull, i.e. ship's name displayed as a decal after X amount of flight time, or simply a different paint job becomes available, etc.? Well, I definitely, I'm planning and wanting to have the ability to sort of name your ship and, so put decals or name it. That's, not necessarily going to be obviously in 2.0, but that is definitely something we want part of the PU and a persistence thing. So it's sort of, you have your own kind of identity, right? You want to have your own Millennium Falcon that, you've done all these things with and has a history. I think that we'll let you name it and do some other stuff. I don't know what necessarily there'll be other incentives to keep the hull, but I think potentially longer term, we can have aspects where you sort of wear it in or get to know the sort of boundaries or edges of your equipment. I mean, we're definitely going to do that on components, where you'll know which ones you can overclock and not overclock and stuff like that, and you set it up a certain specific way. And so tuning and getting a new ship set up will, take a little bit of time and investment. So, a lot of times if you've got a ship you've got set up, you'll want to keep it that way, and you won't necessarily want to lose it because you'll have to set a new one up the same way, and it'll just take a bit of time to sort of dial it in, so to speak. So there you go on that one. All right, next question comes from Jamojo, who asks, what kind of missions will we see generated by the game? Will we be able to have a freelance as a prisoner transport for the UEC prison system, or is a Drake Herald latch onto a bigger ship and take information from them? Yes, well, I mean, there's going to be a vast amount of missions, many more than done here. But yes, I mean, there potentially could be things like prisoner transport missions. I mean, obviously, I've talked about things like trading missions, bounty hunter missions, mercenary missions. There's information running, so that's the Drake Herald, which would be taking data from point A to point B. I'm not sure that the Drake Herald will necessarily latch onto a bigger ship, but it certainly will take an information burst, and then it can carry it to a destination and broadcast it, or you could hand deliver a data drive and stuff like that. But there's going to be a whole bunch. I mean, the whole idea with the sort of mission system that will run in the persistent universe is that we sort of have this bigger universe simulation that happens, and that's sort of a more sort of turn-based simulation, but it has 20 million AI NPCs running all around doing their stuff, and there's a whole set of rules of, these economic nodes need these kind of products, and so they request them from other areas, and that will generate missions where people will take the goods, and if pirates attack them, then there'll be more missions for bounty hunters to go after the pirates and mercenaries to protect the convoys, and all those missions become available for AI or players, so players can take them, or AI can take them if players don't take them. And then, depending on the outcome of the missions, that either is simulated on this universe side, if there's no players involved, which is more sort of like a high-end sort of turn-based simulation, or if players did get involved or come across these missions, they get simulated on a high-fidelity basis, which is sort of the gameplay, running around, flying your ship, doing the action, and the results of those get fed back into the universe simulation. So if you kill some pirates, it gets told back to the universe simulator that says, okay, these 2 pirates were killed in this system, and so now there'll be 2 less pirates in that system. So you could have a whole bunch of bounty hunters come in, clean out the pirates in a system, and then all of a sudden there won't be pirates on the universe server in that system, and so there won't be so much piracy, so there won't be so many missions then for mercenaries to do escorting. Now, of course, some pirates in another system may hear that there's now no pirates there and no competition, they may move into it. So what that happens is the universe system sort of runs this ecosystem that has a feedback loop from the game, and the game itself basically scrapes the state of the universe system periodically. We haven't quite determined whether it's every 30 minutes or every 5 minutes, but it sort of time slices across all the systems and says, okay, who's in this system right now? What AI do we have? What are they doing? What locations they are? And then it uses that to sort of generate the local situations that you experience when you're flying around yourself. So it's kind of like the universe system is a dynamic mission generator for the game experience you have. And so it's got a really cool feedback loop. It's going to feel really alive, even if there's only you in the game. There's still going to be loads of AI moving around. I've already said that our goal is to have 90% AI NPCs to 10% player base, even if we've got millions of players. So what that means is no matter what, the universe will be alive, things will be happening, there will be reactions to what you do, and it can be with you and your friends, or you can come across other players. And so I think it will be a really, really cool experience, and there will be lots of missions. So, not just the ones I mentioned, or that was asked questions about. Okay, next question comes from Hardwired, who asked, do all the ships have the same speed while in Quantum/Supercruise? So no, they don't all have the same speed in Quantum/Supercruise. Supercruise itself, so I don't know if you're thinking Supercruise as in the definition of in Elite Dangerous, because we actually have our own version of Cruise that's one of the new flight modes that will debut in 2.0, which is somewhere between SCM, Space Combat Maneuvering, and quantum travel. And that will be based on sort of mass and thrust and everything else. So it's sort of change depending, and you can even, and that number will even change dynamically for an individual ship depending on what you're doing in terms of power and thrust and fuel and all the rest of the stuff. So that won't have the same speed. And quantum itself, we've talked about different quantum drives or different levels of mass of a ship affecting the rate of quantum. So we've sort of discussed that the best quantum drive in the galaxy right now, in human hands anyway, does 0.2 the speed of light. But that doesn't mean that they all do that. Maybe a slow boat trading ship would be maybe 0.1, and it would just take them longer to get somewhere. But they can haul a whole bunch more goods and cargo. So there you go. All right, next question comes from the Rafe King, who asks, how will communications between two ships be organized? Do you have to choose different frequencies talking to an alien ship? In terms of the communication between two ships, I mean, it's still early days on that. I mean, obviously there's a simple chat system that's in the game right now, but we're sort of thinking that, you would open a channel, you'd target a ship, and you would request to talk to them, and then you could make that a channel that you can talk on your frequency, or you could basically have it public and broadcast. And then potentially, if you're talking between someone on that frequency, depending on the ship and equipment, someone else could potentially snoop on it depending on what they've got. Not all the time, but some people would. So we'll allow you to sort of hail ships and open secure transmissions with them, or just generally broadcast stuff and kind of go from there. But it's still early days, so those are all sort of functionality and features that are yet to be properly implemented in the game. But we have some pretty strong ideas how it will work, and hopefully you guys will like it too. Next question comes from Aidan Feskin, who asks, will the Vanduul be fundamentally evil, or can we find or see peaceful Vanduul? I would say, as far as the UEE is concerned, and as far as your point of view, the Vanduul are pretty much out for the destruction of humanity. Who's to say that there isn't some stuff longer term that you may discover that has a bit more backstory to the Vanduul? But generally they're sort of in opposition to the UEE in the same way that the Visigoths and the Vanduuls of antiquity were in opposition to the Roman Empire. They don't think or approach things the same way that we do as humans, and so they sort of see us and our planets as weak and as resources to harvest, basically, and they take what they want where they want. So I don't know whether you would say they're fundamentally evil, or they just have a very different point of view than we do. So there you go. Next question comes from Midian, who asks, with the release of Star Citizen Alpha 2.0, what will become of our hangars, SimPod, and holotable? The demo at CitizenCon didn't show the players in a hangar, nor did I see the SimPod or holotable when they requested their ships. Will there be a mechanic in place to customize our ship loadout in the initial release of 2.0? Will the hangars be temporarily disabled? No, hangars will still exist. You can still load into your hangar, you can still mess around with these ships, you can still change the loadouts on your ships, and from the hangar you can access ArcCorp, you can access Port Olisar, which is the space station that you start on in 2.0, or you can go into the SimPod and access electronic access to play Arena Commander, and when we turn it on, Star Marine. In some ways the hangar is still going to be the hub. We have some later stage stuff that will debut that will sort of remove the loading screens and make it sort of more seamless and streaming. Not just there. It's not just there yet, but it will be, in the not too distant future. And longer term, for the first version of 2.0, we probably won't have a holotable available or a mobiGlass UI available for you to customize your ship while you're at Port Olisar on your space station or pad. But that is the long-term plan. So that will be in 2.2 or somewhere around there. Ultimately, we're just trying to bring all this together. So, fairly, well, I'll show you fairly soon, but, we'll be able to sort of, Port Olisar will just be a space station orbiting in the Stanton system, and, you'll be able to fly down to visit Crusader, or fly down to visit ArcCorp, or fly down to visit Microtech, or fly to go visit Nix. So all the early stages of the PU are sort of gestating with SC Alpha 2.0, and it's the first baby step. and we're really excited to see what you guys do with it, because there's a lot of opportunity for fun, cooperative play with other players, or playing, having head-to-head fights against other players, or just encountering AI. Okay, last question comes from Falker, who asks, what can we be expecting as far as jump distances out of ships? Is a Gladius only going to be able to perform one jump while a Sabre can perform 3? What about the larger ships? So it's too early to sort of be definitive on this, but yes, obviously different ships will have the ability to have different ranges. Quantum fuel is a separate resource than the sort of boost afterburner fuel, and obviously the amount of quantum fuel you have combined with the efficiency of your jump drive, which is essentially a modified quantum drive, and the distance you're going to have to do the jump through the wormhole will sort of affect how far you can go. The smaller ships that have jump drives probably will not be able to go as far without having to refuel or collect some more fuel. The bigger ones will be able to sort of carry on going for much further distances. So we're expecting a fair amount of gameplay long term for players that want to be they're flying a Starfarer around and selling fuel to people, or there'll be refueling stations and all the rest of the stuff. So, but I would say the smaller ships have a much shorter sort of range before they have to refuel versus the bigger ones. So there you go. All right, that is the end of the 10 questions, and my first 10 for the chairman for about a month and a half. It's good to be back. It's good to be answering your guys' questions. I'd like to say, again, thanks to all the subscribers for making it possible. I'd like to say thank you to all the backers out there for enabling everything that we're doing. So it's amazing. It's, like I said, at the top of the show, being at CitizenCon, every time we do these shows, whether it's GamesCon or CitizenCon, it's really humbling and great to be amongst all you guys. You're making this happen. I mean, we wouldn't be able to make this game without your support. It's just the best experience in the world to be able to make a game so ambitious that I've always wanted to make and play, and I think most of the people we have working on it feel exactly the way, and I think pretty much all you guys feel the same way. And without the support, and it's unique in the industry. I mean, I don't think anyone has ever seen anything that has approached this level of enthusiasm and support. I mean, you are competing with the biggest multinationals out there that finance games. It's amazing the power of individual gamers coming together to pursue one dream, and so you should all pat yourself on the back, and I thank you very much for working super hard to get you the next stage of stuff out. And I think I say this a fair amount of time. It is taking longer than we wanted, but the game is much bigger, much more detailed, much richer than it was originally conceived to be, and in the long term I think it will be a universe and a world that everyone will be happy to spend many years in. I certainly will be happy to spend many years in it and helping making it better. So thank you all, and I'll see you next week. Bye. Hey guys, thanks for watching 10 for the Chairman. If you guys would like to see more episodes, go here. If you guys would like to subscribe to our YouTube channel and always keep up to date with all our video content, go here. And if you guys would like to watch episodes of Around the Verse, go here please. And I will see you in the verse.
This video made possible by the ICC Stellar Surveyors and subscribers like you.